Today we have a question from a viewer that's working with a 4-way Samsung cassette and a wired remote controller. I'm going to go through option setting and checking today. There is a function that you can use on the temperature sensor selection side that you can make work for you in the field better. With different customers, you have different needs. So this could be a problem that you could easily fix by just changing a setting in a thermostat. So the question from the viewer was, it's in auto mode, which lets you do heating and cooling and adjust the indoor fan speed to the temperature to match it. And it's intermittently doing cooling and heating. Well, it's going from 72 on the setting all the way up to 78. So they've got it set for 72, but it's reaching 78. So it's overheating quite a bit. So that could be easily this setting. I'm going to show you the wired remote controller we're working with. I'm going to talk to you about where the sensor is, and then I'm going to show you in the actual user manual here, the installation manual, how to get to the additional user functions. This is Tips for Technicians. I'm Tad. Let's get started. I use Samsung HVAC equipment in all my grow facilities. It's great equipment, and I'm going to show you where the sensor is. So right here up in the return is where that sensor is. And we're going to be using this wired remote controller, which is a MWR WE10N. And this right here is what we're going to go through the functions with. I'm going to show you how to get through to temperature sensor selection and make the setting to where you can change from using this wired remote controller as the temperature sensor select or the actual sensor in that unit. Now, what is this going to do? It's going to make it to where if our wired remote controller is in a location to where it's not actually getting the heat from the unit or in the space, in a different space, then it's not going to overheat, okay? If we need to make it run off the sensor in here to better acclimate the area and not overshoot the heating setting, then we'll have to change the temperature sensor selection to the indoor unit. And where I've used this in the field is I've had homeowners tell me at nighttime when using a ducted Samsung unit, they say that their house becomes colder than they want. So what I do is I go to the wired controller, I change the sensor selection to the indoor unit, and then it keeps it warmer inside that air handler, the ductwork and everything, and then it keeps the house warmer. So that's a way I've been able to make it to where it doesn't undershoot the heating. It could be that you just need to change the setting. Let's get started with that. We take the installation manual for the wired remote controller. We open to the additional functions of your wired remote controller, and then we go through the main menu and sub menu. I'm going to show you how to do this, but we're going to main menu 1, then sub menu 2, and then we're scrolling over to the first data bit, and the factory setting should be 0 for the indoor unit, or it should be changed to 1 for the wired remote controller. Also, you'll want to check out use of average temperature, because this could be an issue. You want it either set to no use or use of average temperature. I usually do the no use. And then for the temperature sensor selection, just depends on the application and the customer and the needs, but usually I set it for the wired remote controller. Sometimes I have to set it for the indoor unit, but usually it's wired remote controller. How do we get started with this? We push the exit and set buttons. Now I'm going to show you on this thermostat. All right, so if I push the exit and set buttons and I hold it down for about 5 seconds, boop, it enters main menu. We were going to main menu 1, so we don't have to go up or down. We just leave it on 1. Then we scroll over to the right and it shows us a submenu number. And we can go from 1, 2, 3, submenu number 4, but we were in submenu number 2, okay? Then I go over to the right one more time, and then it displays me all those data bits with the factory settings, okay? Set for number 1 on the first option, number 2, 0, 1, 0. Let's see what that's set for then. Go back down to this manual, and submenu number 2, number 1 was set for 1. That means that we're using the wired remote controller as the temperature sensor selection. Number 2 right here, this is number 2, see 1, 2, 3, 4, so that's 2. 2 is set for 0. Let's check and make sure that that was the setting. And we are still on submenu number 2. I'm sorry, yep, and then 0. So it's using the wired controller, and then it's not using the average temperature. This is the way I want it set. I push set, it saves it, and then I push exit down here, okay? Exit. So now it's going to save the settings, and it's going to be using the wired remote controller. This should help you with your problem. If you're having a temperature overshoot problem, this is one option that you can go for that may be the fix for you in the field. All right, let's talk. So your user manual and your installation manual for this wired controller are very important. If you don't have these on hand in the field, go to Samsung DVM Downloads, and I'm going to leave that link in the description so that if you do need it in the field, you can go there and download these manuals on your phone or your computer and be able to quickly have that for reference. You're going to use your user manual to set things like your backlight time. You can increase your backlight time. I think the factory setting is like 5-10 seconds maybe. I usually set mine up for like 20 seconds so that I can see the screen for more than 5 seconds. Your installation manual also, you'll set temperature and date with this user manual. And this right here, you're going to go through all your option settings. So if you have different features that you need to change the options for, that you have an accessory maybe in the field, you're using some type of inline fan, you're bringing fresh air in this 4-way cassette, you have that options check setting that you can use in your additional user functions. Guys, I hope this helped you. And the viewer that left the comment, thank you for the question. I really appreciate, and I hope that you find out the issue, and maybe this is in correlation to what your issue is, and it can be able to help you. Guys, thanks for watching. Show you guys the system that I have in my facility. This right here is a free joint multi, and that is a 4-way cassette. And then this right here is a wall mount that I have, equaling up to 3 tons in my building here. This is a deep water culture aquaponics system. I actually build deep water culture aquaponics systems, grow produce, grow cannabis. Let's go take a look at the outside unit. This right here is the outdoor unit, and it is a Samsung free joint multi 3-ton VRF technology. It's the only thing I'll use in my grow facilities. It works the best. If you guys want to learn more about aquaponics, what I do with setting up grow facilities, processing hemp, cannabis, and working with the food industry, check out my other videos.